I have to say that was a lovely throw from Tsunami. He's been doing a great job this event, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. Very happy with that one.
Absolutely. But I swear to God, Tsunami, if you ever say Jenkins' name...
That is an item that people are building right now, is the Aghanim Scepter with the Spectre Haunt being nerfed. I do think this is quite good, but we've seen Nigma with this Arc Warden before. They make it look really good, even against counters.
Well, if you have faith in Liquid, Jenkins, let me do something to douse a little bit of that belief for you.
Don't do this to me.
Last time they matched up against each other, Beyond Epic.
Okay.
Best of 3. 2-1 Nigma. This was 2 months ago.
2-1 though.
Yeah, 2-1.
You know, they still took a game. Like I feel like 66%.
Oh no, absolutely. They can take games. Bounty Hunt. Best of 3.
Oh, you're gonna keep
2-1 Nigma.
I didn't realize you were gonna.
Bounty Hunt again.
Okay.
2-1 Nigma.
Okay, that's a lot of 2-1s there.
Best of 1.
Yeah.
Nigma.
Oh, okay.
ESL 1 Birmingham. 2-1 Nigma. So no doubt, Liquid is really good at taking an individual game off of Liquid. They're very good at doing it. However, they don't seem to be able to close out the series.
Well, you know, this is the series.
This is where they break the curse.
We are going to see that curse be broken here. Taiga placing a very nice mid-ward there. And look at this.
And I'm saying this because most of the time, only one of the series did they take game 2. All the other series, they take the first game in the series.
Okay.
So
this one is going to go to Liquid. Historically speaking.
Again, I'm more trying to douse your hope in Liquid here by saying, don't get your hopes up too high when they win this game.
Well, you have done an adequate job at that. I've got to say, very impressive soul crushing you just done.
Thank you. That's what I aim for. Boxy's going to be playing the Darkseer, which we actually need to touch on because most of the time they've been playing Taiga in more of a 3 position and Boxy more in a 4. In fact, we heard from that interview where Taiga said, yeah, I just understand this meta right now, and I was tired of goddamn losing. So I said, team, make me a core. I'll carry you guys. And they acquiesced. They said, okay, Tommy. Because apparently Tommy is not somebody who really is going to make those kind of demands very often.
Unless he knows.
Yeah, but he just feels really good about it, and he made that kind of call. And since then, it has been serving Liquid very well.
You know, the funny thing is that's a type of player. Like, when you say that, it's like, oh, I actually know people like that are really good. Like, I know Zai is another one of those players. Like, if Zai says he wants to do something, you just let him do it.
Yeah, I mean, Taiga has been full of clutch moments when with his history in Liquid. There was, of course, that infamous Dark Willow game where he was able to hold out from the fountain with that Aghanim's Dark Willow. And even just recently, we had him being able to go for the throne race and manage to bring down the throne with his Eidolons. So
it's usually 4 positions that are like that, honestly.
Yeah.
They're like the god gamers. They just play whatever game and they're really good at it.
Yeah, in Southeast Asia, DJ, right? Great example of somebody who really shines on that 4 position. Though lately, if you watch the Southeast Asia series earlier today, that was actually Jabs who came through in the clutch. Hook shot in, picked up a Divine Rapier on a deck and killed the throne. How insane is that? DJ was there helping him out too. But in this game, we do have that Koifa versus Weeha mid matchup. Zeus versus Void Spirits, which is going very, very well for Koifa. He's even got himself 3 denies.
Has been killed.
I would imagine that's fairly Zeus favored. High base damage, good attack animation. Now, finally, he has a good attack animation, and then also, you just do so much magic damage against a hero that literally has a physical damage shield.
Yeah.
Void Spirit doesn't really do anything to a Zeus.
And then our bottom, like, oh, they're going to try and keep him in the silence. Oh, insane. He gets hit by it, pops the healing salve, but he's still dead. Mind control. Gets the first blood. I think Insania read that he wasn't going to be able to dive past the silence in time, and therefore he would just come right back.
Yeah, he had the point. Like, it was available. He just made the read. Oh, that's a nice read too. Speaking of which, it's cool to see Void Spirit players hitting those nice.
Taiga, he's in big time trouble here. Throws out the avalanche, and he's gonna die here if this last decay hits him. And there it is. RMN collects a second kill for Nigma in this laning phase.
Yeah, 2-0 so far. I mean, these lanes I wouldn't say are necessarily supposed to go like this. They're about even. There's different timings you can have for either lane. Oh my God, that's
Jesus.
That's the worst death that you could possibly have. I mean, that's your Spectre. This is your counter to the Arc Warden. I don't know if they can keep aggroing after this. 2 kills on both the heroes.
Yeah, but is the other matchup any better? You want that Spectre into the Undying Arc Warden lane? That looks pretty bad too.
See, the Undying is the real issue.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
RMN will die here to the combo of the Darkseer and the Tiny, so they do manage to get that kill. It's still a bit concerning. 4-minute power runes are coming up though, and that's certainly where things could change a lot, because the one winning lane here from Liquid is this mid lane where Koifa continues to dominate 25-3. If Taiga helps him get a kill, even better as Weehaw spots Taiga. It's on the other side of things. That's where the Rubik is signed. And look at him. They really want to be able to protect Weehaw here and allow him to be able to get this. And Koifa and Taiga are not going to let him to. Dissimulate goes out. He does manage to pick it up, and now he's fully committed. Toss up in the air, and he may just be dying as Insania is going to ensure it here. Now GH, he's probably going to be run down as Koifa has those high levels of Arc Lightning that we've been seeing from Zeus's, and they start evening things out on Liquid.
That's one of those weird situations where it looks really silly that he commits like that, but both of the mid heroes had no resources in an empty bottle. So like whoever gets that rune, it's just
an arcane rune too.
It's like, just over. It's just over for the other mid laner. So like you have to go for it.
Yep.
You'd arguably rather die and then get the rune than give it to the other guy. Just have that full reset from Fountain at least.
So even before that play, I was going to set it up where Liquid do have a chance to be able to come back, right? Because they have this crazy global strategy, a classic Zeus Spectre duo. Mind Control doing a good job controlling up the bounty rune there, and they get Insania's courier for that.
Darkseer Phoenix as well. Like these heroes are nothing to scoff at in the late game. They're not really like damage dealing cores per se, but they offer so much for team fights, right? Like you have the vacuum you have the surge on the Spectre, maybe on the Zeus to save him, the wall creating the illusion of the Arc Warden, Bloodseeker. Like it's pretty nice to go late game with these heroes as long as you have some sort of damage. And between Zeus and Spectre, of course, they're going to have damage.
So I casted an NA game last night with Trent, and he was telling me they've been covering Southeast Asia and some of the NA games.
Yep.
And he said in Southeast Asia, they've actually been experimenting with Nature's Prophet Zeus, which, you know, is another global strategy, but the current Nature's Prophet that does so much damage with Wrath of Nature, the only way to really deal with that is to hide, to be off map, and Zeus reveals you, right? So it's like...
It's the same thing, the Spectre Zeus.
Yep.
I imagine that's what you're moving into, is this call.
Oh, there's the Zeus open to go off, and might just get them 2 kills here in the top lane, but GH is there to turn things around, and if anything, Boxy is going to get a little bit low. Stick will heal him back up here. They're actually going to TP out. And that's because the Void Spirit was actually making his way down the river. They knew that because they had a ward there in the triangle area that spotted some of the rotation.
Very nice ward. Yeah, that's, you know, clearly to protect the Miracle Arc Warden there. Actually, that's from Liquid.
Yep.
That's a Liquid ward. Wow. Deep.
Radiant's middle tower is under
But yeah, this aggro situation with an Arc Warden becomes a little weird and awkward whenever there's a Zeus or, like we were talking about, Nature's Prophet in the game, because you get this level 6 really quickly on these heroes, and then all of a sudden you don't have to have this rotation happen with the mid laner, but you have this extra damage in the lane. It's like, okay, well, we were winning this lane before, but you throw in this like 300, 400 damage nuke. Like, what the hell can you do, right? Even if there's a level disadvantage, you still can die.
The one lane that continues to be won here is, I believe, Mind Control is very happy with his matchup because this damage just doesn't threaten him, right? Bloodseeker with his Thirst, like they don't have any like burst damage or anything that really keeps him low enough he can't approach the creep waves, so.
Yep, exactly. Phoenix, Spectre, neither of these heroes really do enough damage. It's you need some heroes to kill the Bloodseeker. These are not kill heroes. These are slow harass heroes, and that's exactly what Bloodseeker prefers to play against. We even saw Bloodseeker doing well against some Nature's Prophet.
Taiga approaches and then backs away. As soon as the TP was there, I think he was hoping to be able to get an avalanche toss back, but no such luck. And looks like that would be the first rupture of the game with the rotation from Weehaw. They do ensure the kill on the carry of Liquid.
Is under attack.
This frees up the mid lane for Miracle too. He needs the space with that little aggro lane that he was doing, and of course dying to the Zeus. Ooh, predicted the wrong way.
He thought there was a chance, and Insania double back here, still holding that double damage in an Astral Step. So this is a very dangerous man. Weehaw, as he tends to, full out aggression, dissimulate immediately. Astral Step away before he can get caught by the stun. Still got the rest of the team surrounding him here, so he's still ready to fight, but Koifa's going to cut over. They do have the blood right. Taiga throws out his combo, tries to bring down mind control, and they do. Taiga, really nice that he blows his combo and then gets his distance away. That was well played.
That's one of those baits of this Bloodseeker hero, is that you feel like people are low, so when you're playing in the offlane, it's like, oh, I can run them down, right? But then you do no damage. You do no right-click damage, so you get baited into the tower like that and then allow Taiga to make that play.
Nice kill. Liquid beginning to pick up some steam here as Boxy put the Ion Shell on Mickey right as Koifa started getting aggressive on that Arc Warden. So the Spectre gets on top of you instantly, and he's got the Ion Shell damage. Pretty easy.
I've definitely heard a lot of people flame this Spectre plus Darkseer combo. It's like, oh, it's Surging Spectre. That's not that scary, right?
Yeah. Whoa, dodging the rupture there for a second. Mind control still looks to get it out. Instead, he's going to throw it onto the Phoenix here. Phoenix not have the Supernova. Getting behind this tier 1, blood right in the middle, so Phoenix isn't able to dodge it here, and they'll just burst him down with GH.
Nice thing about the Bloodseeker when you... Oh.
There's that Ion Shell on the Darkseer. Another combo that works really well with the Darkseer. I would say a lot better is that Tiny.
Right, exactly what I was saying about the Spectre, too. It's like in the early game, you throw an Ion Shell on some hero, all of a sudden they become a killer.
Yeah. Boxy is going to be able to surge away from a lot of his damage. Really nicely played, but he may still die. In fact, he does. There's the Soul Rip, just does so much damage. Especially when you've got that Veil out from Mike.
Yeah. I think he might have TP bot too, which...
Oh, that's
yeah, that could be a real issue for defending this tower. I mean, not that the tower really matters that much.
Yeah. Tower is under
this one's largely irrelevant.
That should help.
Looks like 3 bounding runes for Nigma. So what do you think? I mean, the initial part of the laning phase looked a little rough just because the side lanes were bad for Liquid. But then as soon as they got their level 6s, they ran around, got some kills. Now the net worth is pretty even. Do you feel like a team has an advantage one way or another?
You know, I look at this Liquid draft. Like, if you have this draft in a pub, and I know this is a pub. Okay,
Koifa pulled back in.
So much damage.
Looking to be able to burst him down. Just need a little bit more. Koifa trying to dodge those hits. Turns around, gets a little damage on a Weehaw here. Backs away, but he dies eventually to Soul Rip, and so will Taiga, looks like, as they just effortlessly dive this tier 1 tower with multiple people, and they've got the Sea Dragon alive too.
I like how active Nigma's being in this game. I think if they aren't active, they're just going to fall victim to this very easy to execute draft from Liquid. It's really obvious how the team fight should be played. You just vac into Phoenix Egg, Tiny Stun, and then press the Spectre and Zeus spells, press their R's, and then you're probably going to win the fight. Like, that alone is too much damage to deal with. But if you're taking these small skirmishes and you're getting the jump, even smoking immediately after taking the tier 1 tower, that shows how fast they want to play, even with an Arc Warden.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They want to be able to, with this 4-man, create a lot of space for the Arc Warden. The more towers they take, the more map control Arc Warden can grab with his Tempest Double. But here comes a re-smoke up from Liquid. Run over Mind Control real quickly. Koifa pops the ultimate to ensure the last hit there on Mind Control. Big kill. Heavy rotation, though, from Liquid. Let's see if they similarly can get an objective off of a hero kill like that. Insania diving forward, does manage to catch GH. Look at that. Sunray immediately going out from Insania to prevent the Icarus dive steal from GH that would have allowed him to escape.
Yeah, that's very nice. And the thing with this rotation, too, is it's not only they're getting kills, but they rotated towards this bot tower. This is the exact place on the map that you want to play because you want to take this tower to take over the jungle.
Look at this support duo setting up for this tier 1 because they're like, okay, a bunch of people showed bottom. Let's just immediately rotate to the other side. Insania looks like he's going to kind of bait himself here and see if Weehaw takes the bait or not.
Yeah, this is a really nice play. Oh, Miracle goes for the wraparound.
And Koifa's caught. Telekinesis is there in time.
Once again, I'm impressed with how active he's being.
Okay, Weehaw's going to take it. He's going to go for this kill on Insania. I'm not sure that a Tiny is going to be able to do enough damage, but we'll see. Weehaw's another Astral Step. Insania catches him, slows him down just enough. Another round of Fire Spirits, a little bit more. The Spectre ult's going to go off. They have the egg as well. They're going to dive in deep with this dagger and eventually get the kill, yes. But it cost them 2 ultimates for it.
Maybe we taunted a little bit too early there with the chat line. I think he expected to get away, but with the double global strat, you always got to look out, man.
Yep.
You got to be careful.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's such activity from both teams in this game, despite both teams having some like insane late game. It's just all guns blazing.
Dire's bottom tower is under
That being said, with the Spectral used, Miracle is certainly going to feel like a lot more comfortable in being aggressive and shoving down lanes and such.
Yeah, 100%. I'm surprised he's playing with his hero up so much, but I get it. Like, look at this Liquid draft right now. You have this amazing late game, this amazing team fight, but what initiation do you have? What killer heroes do you have right now? It's just Taiga, right? And this is a guy playing without a blink there. He's done a great job so far, but he's the only hero that can really do any sort of initiation. Yeah. They don't have tower push either, which is exactly why they made that smoke to bot, but then they didn't push the tier 1 because what's the point? It's going to take so long. You're going to get wiped trying to do it with these heroes.
Sure.
Like, they have to fight because they don't want to just lose to this snowball from Nigma, but they also can't take towers. They can defend towers very well, though.
That they can, and they've only bled away one tower so far, and that was through that really nice smoke gank into mid lane. Bottom tower is getting pretty low, but you can see the Darkseer's trying to stand in front of that. Phoenix is one of the better heroes to do something similar here. Surge forward with the Ion Shell, cutting through the trees. Spotted, though, and certainly doesn't want to go through that blood right.
The Surge definitely helps Taiga with these initiations, even without the Blink Dagger. Like, this is definitely a... I like that they're playing these two heroes together, or at the very least, whenever Taiga's going for a play, he's doing it with a shell on him. Like, every single time we look at this little rock, he's got a shell on him.
Yeah. And we've seen so often, like, these tinies with Grimstrokes, or, like, so many heroes, basically. It's like you add a little bit of a nuke on top of that, and it almost guarantees you're going to get a kill.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get your combo off. They're going to pull him back in with the Aether Remnant, see if they can blow him up before he gets out the Supernova. He does manage to do so, but the Egg's going to die really quickly. Now Taiga is probably going to die as well. Nice tie spout, Weehaw, but he has no TP, so, and he has no way to cut down trees, so there's nowhere he can cut down and hide. No options.
It is getting to the point, though, that I think an option for them is to go for the Blink Dagger on Tiny whenever they make these plays. Like, I think it's getting harder and harder to just run into Nigma. I mean, especially when they're 5-manning like this, even bringing the Arc Warden to all of their engagements, and I get why they're doing that. If you look at the tower damage from Nigma, all they have is Arc Warden, and I mean, he's not even that much, but at least he's a ranged hero, right? And he's got the summoned clone of himself that can do a little bit of damage. So if they want to take towers and be active, he's got to be active. God, this ward is beautiful. I love this ward.
That's a cool one. That's expected to be like one of the safest places to farm early on because you're right next to a tier 2 tower. Like, surely that's an okay place.
And who wards there? It's on the low ground.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower.
All of your Dota instincts tell you that you will not die there. And apparently the instincts were right. Nobody died. It's too safe, even with the ward.
Still tier 1 tower remains. That's at bottom. RMN currently set up 4 levels of Soul Rip, 1 level of Tombstone.
I love the heroes that they're playing together when they split like this on Nigma. Bloodseeker Rubik, RMN. This is a really nice 3-man unit, and then these other, like in terms of team fight, and then these other heroes, Arc Warden and Void Spirit, they're fast, they're mobile, they can get to the fight.
So I want to point something out that seems to be a pattern for Liquid. This is now the second time where I've seen them, they very clearly have late game. This time around, they may not be stacking as much, but they do have 2 supports that can kill creep waves and like protect towers.
Yep.
And you could see the Phoenix, like Insania was playing top so often. Like he was just collecting creep waves, getting the CS and experience, keeping it off the tower, and then you've got basically 2.5 cores who are farming jungle the entirety of that time. They weren't showing on the map hardly at all.
And I do think if they can engage in some sort of 5v5 combat with Nigma, as long as there isn't somebody getting picked off right at the start, I think this kind of greed that you're talking about and playing to farm will lend itself to them winning a fight. The question is, will Nigma give that opportunity? Like, I really like this itemization for Mind Control. He's just saying, screw the Zai build, right? I'm just going to go for the Veil because I think it's a necessity on this hero, which I totally agree with, and then go straight for the pipe. Not to give them any chance to do this magic bullshit combo, Zeus, Spectre. They're not going to kill us. Even though this hero kind of lacks the mana to use this item, like, you need it on somebody. Bloodseeker's got to build it.
Yeah, nobody else is going to be able to build a pipe. The only other target would be this Undying.
No way.
And I don't think Armament's getting a pipe anytime soon.
No, no.
There's a reason why this hero hasn't been run core a whole lot. It's pretty much only Nigma who has taken that chances with Mind Control.
Yep, you have to snowball with it. You have to dump on the lane and then be so huge that you can sit in lanes hitting creeps.
Aghanim Scepter almost done for Weeha's Void Spear. What is Mickey's farm at currently? I haven't seen his items queued up in a while. Blade Mail.
Oh, Blade Mail. Interesting. Okay. I suppose if he gets ruptured, that's going to be good. If the Arc Warden, this hero does a lot of right-click damage, it's basically the only other way that they can kill him. I think Void Spirit doesn't really care that much about the Blade Mail.
Yeah.
Just too mobile, too tanky.
Taiga now has his Blink Dagger. He took the time to be able to farm it up, and they're going to go for the fast kill onto Mind Control. But Mind Control with a pipe up and a Soul Rift, he heals up so much. They do manage to get the Supernova off the Eul Scepter, buying Koifa a little bit of time. The egg protecting him. They deal with the Tombstone, but Weeha comes in looking for the execution onto Koifa here. But he stays alive, staying away. Dagger coming in, dissimulate. No, he doesn't actually get hit by it. Weeha trying to finish him. The Eul Scepter, their toss up in the air, does manage to finally get the Zeus there from GH, but it's still a 1-for-1 trade-off. Nigma pushing forward, looking to catch some of these heroes, slow them down. Phoenix will eventually get out here. Mickey, he's pretty healthy. A nice toss. Avalanche combo there from Taiga. Mickey, though, getting so aggressive. I think he thought he could just 1v4 pretty easily. That may not be the case. He has the Sunrise on top of him. That's healing him up a lot, but it's not quite enough. The vacuum comes in, grabbing a number of heroes with the Fire Spirits on him. The Avalanche toss kills Miracle, almost takes down GH as well. Taiga deals the finishing blow there, and Mickey, he baits out a great fight for them. He just charged in, man, with that Blade Mail, said, fight me, and then his supports were the ones to able to clean up all the kills.
Yeah, that was just beautiful, Dota, man. Like the start of that fight, baiting a Mind Control, that's just perfect. That's exactly what you need to do when you have that pipe. And then we have this hyper focus on the Zeus, which of course needs to happen, but then the egg gets popped and everybody plays around protecting that Zeus with the egg. And he survives and he dodges the, what is it, dissimulate? Is that what it's called? The dissimulate.
Yep.
He dodges that just by a fraction, which lets Taiga get off that nice Avalanche toss, killing the Void Spirit, and then the re-engage, the choice to re-engage, because it's like they've committed so much to go for this Zeus that we can actually kill Miracle, who's now out of position. All of these other heroes, we don't give a shit about them. Like I think it was Kyle that said it, this game is all about the Arc Warden, it's all about the Zeus. These are the heroes that matter.
Yeah. Two backline glass cannon type heroes that usually do not have any way to protect themselves if you get on top of them. And both sides have heroes that can kind of automatically get into the backline with Void Spirit and Spectre.
So it falls on the team. It falls on the supporting cast to make sure that they're protecting their little boy.
Yeah, and they've got the same protection too, because they both have a totem, a structure that they lay down on the ground and says, we're going to fight around this area. Tombstone and the egg.
You got the blood right to put down.
Taiga just poking at him, I guess. Backing away, though. They're going to lose their tier 2 pretty early here. So much stuff out on the ground. Ether Remnants and Spark Race everywhere. It is not a battlefield. That is Liquid. Feel good about fighting, so they just give it up.
We're definitely seeing one of these big holes in the Liquid draft in the fact that they don't have any tower push, and with the lead that Nigma has, they're afraid to D-push with the Zeus because you can just jump in with the Void Spirit, who is so huge in this game.
Yeah.
So it's like this map is incredibly limited. Like the mid-tier 1 is still alive. We've just lost a tier 2 for Liquid. Now the Outpost is going to go down. The game gets a lot harder from here on out.
I agree. The map control is definitely a big problem, but at the same time, this net worth difference isn't that big. So despite it controlling less of the map, jump in, try to grab the Void Spirit, but Weeha already jumped away. He instantly astral stepped out of that one. The vacuum Avalanche is still going to catch him for a bit of damage, but eventually does get that second astral step. By the way, that was really fast. He dissimulated in and instantly jumped out.
Yeah, great discipline there. I wouldn't even call that instincts. I guarantee you he had no idea that was coming. It's just that he knows that good players in Dota, they clear waves fast. If you're good, you assume the enemy team is good.
Sure.
And so you should assume that they're always there waiting to kill you. So you jump in, immediately jump out. Don't even worry about getting the last hits.
They do have level 15 talent on the Darks here now, so that is going to help out a lot in team fights. And he's going to be going for a Lotus Orb.
I think he did go for the HP talent on the Iron Shell. I believe that's the...
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, does anybody go the wall?
I have seen some people going for it now that the Iron Shell's been nerfed. Yeah, but you know, I mean, 350 HP. I feel like the 400 was just way too much. 350 is more balanced, but probably still not that balanced. Yeah. It's a new talent. This is how it is with new things that are added to the game.
Yeah, very few abilities out there give you bonus health.
Just straight up, just raw health.
Yeah. Mickey. Bit of a net worth difference between him and the Arc Warden, but the other cores of Liquid are a little bit happier with, I guess they're all kind of even.
Yeah, this is really just the Arc Warden Midas factor. I would say this game is fairly even. The real differentiator is the map advantage, but then you could argue, do you really need that much of the map to use with these heroes? Like Phoenix can kind of sit in trees and side lanes, and they've got this global. They're kind of okay with farming their own jungle. It's very close. This is a very close game so far.
I feel like we're about to hit go time for Nigma. Like, they're going to get BKB on the Arc Warden. That is supposed to be able to deal with the... I mean, it deals with everything, right? The Zeus, the Tiny. So that magic damage and that stuff he's just able to ignore. And then the Spectre may get on top of him, but it's not Spectre time yet. He's going to have Blade Mail Manta. That is not a lot of damage, especially if you're able to summon a unit next to you that prevents any of that extra damage.
This is true. This is true. It's really not a problem, man. I think you're totally right. I think there's two ways this can go. Either they show up with the Arc Warden and they wipe Liquid with a nice BKB, or he presses the BKB a little bit too early, and then Liquid re-engages like we saw them do in the fight with Taiga jumping in.
Sure.
And Mickey running in and baiting. I think Liquid is going to be very much so looking to bait the BKB and re-engage.
Yeah, I actually think this is a critical time where Liquid needs to hold on to hold up some buybacks. You know, they need to save up enough gold because they've got heroes like Zeus and Spectre automatically, right? But any of these heroes, any of these fights happening around a tier 2, right? Those are massive. Yeah. Taiga makes the jump in with a follow-up. Nimbus trying to pull up mind control real quick, but once again, his sustained build allows him to be able to tank through this burst damage pretty quickly. Insania has to get out. Weeha gonna be able to chase him down. Gets one silence on top of it. Insania gonna pop the supernova right as he throws the fire spirits out. RMN has been pulled back into his doom, but Nigma say we forced a lot out of them. Let's just call it here, reset real quickly. They're gonna lose their Tempest double. That'll be a little extra gold for Taiga. But other than that, I mean, a supernova for an undying. I don't think Liquid's unhappy with that either. Oh, they're actually going to go back in. They managed to catch Taiga. That is a really big upgrade, but the Sunray's healing him finally does go down. The damage coming in from Miracle with the Mjolnir. He's doing a lot. Mickey's going to try and get on top, and there goes that BKB. Mickey has to instantly reset here. Taiga buys back. He's here in the fight, but they have to wait out that BKB. Boxy trying to get out of the Blood Right, does manage to do so, while Taiga looks for the entry, back in, catches up to him. There, Weeha gets got inside the Nimbus by Taiga. Now they're going to be able to stop Miracle's TP as well. Quite looking to be able to chase him down, pull him back in with a vacuum. Mickey running down all these heroes in mind control. One of the last cores left alive with Weeha buying back in. They've got 2 alive in this fight. Can they actually close it out? They're going to get on top of Koifa here. Koifa dancing away behind this tree. It's going to be run down. Blood Right dodges that. Where's the rest of the team? Where are they? They're trying to chase down the rest of the supports right now while Koifa's calling for help. He's like, please, anybody save me. But they're not here. The rest of Liquid don't show up. They play around this Nimbus, and now a very fast mind control is looking for some extra kills. Fortunately, Taiga's able to blink himself away. But all of these heroes are low. Mind control certainly can catch. Oh, God, he got fooled. Boxy playing inside of the easy camp, lured into a vacuum. He's now stuck up on the high ground. That was supposed to be all their chase. Now Taiga, oh, they just got him. That's a dieback there. Weeha's dead. Mind Control's still stuck up in the cliff, so he has to actually TP back to the mid-tier 1 tower. But the supports, they're a little far out here. And Mickey, he's feeling good after that Sunray heal for the Blood Right. It does a lot of damage. Quickly mantas up and goes back in with the Avalanche. Done onto 2. A toss up in the air. Mind Control solo. Vacuum him back in, but the Soul Rip managed to keep him alive. RMN will back out as well. The Supernova explodes and Liquid call quits. They say, that's it. We're good. We're going to reset a little bit here. That fight was perfectly fine for us.
Exactly what you said would happen happened. Taiga ran in. He bought back. He baited with his life. He buys back and just, I mean, he did everything in that fight.
I mean, even the decision to go on the Bloodseeker, right? Which we saw them do before.
Oh yeah, we all know that's bad.
We know that's not going to work.
Like
you know it doesn't kill. Like, that has to be a conscious decision of like, I'm starting fights here.
Yes, exactly.
But I have buyback.
We need to start a fight and just have somebody die. It's going to be me. Let's get this thing going. Let's bait out that BKB, which they did, and then they kill Miracle soon after. Yeah, very nice from them.
But
fortunately, Koikva.
I mean, those 2 Supernovas in that fight, by the way.
That was a long
one, but it means that he doesn't have the Supernova here. He tries to jump in and steal away the Aegis. He doesn't get it, and GH actually snatches him before he can get back up to the high ground. So Insania going to be slowed down and eventually killed here. You can see Weeha lurking around the sides here, trying to collect any extra kills of Liquid members nearby. They are not, though. Liquid, they are more than content, I think, to just find some opportunities to farm where they can.
It is a solid timing, though, now, because it's not just the BKB on the Arc Warden. Now we have to worry about this Aegis as well.
Yep.
You need to, if you can, just hold out for as long as possible, not engage, try to split push, which it looks like that's what they're doing. They're playing in the enemy jungle.
What do you do about the Spectre, though? If he gets Scotty, it means he gets on top of Miracle, and he never lets go because you have a Scotty against a range hero.
This is true. It's a real problem. Once again, it falls to the Nigma supports to peel for the Arc Warden, and it falls to the Liquid supports. Who am I kidding? It falls to everybody to peel for the Zeus and the Arc Warden.
Yeah.
That's just,
they got to throw their lives.
That's just Dota.
Wherever they can. Taiga is one of them that cannot afford going down right now because that is a dieback. So 70 seconds with an Aegis on top of that. Nigma, yeah, I wasn't going to say go high ground before, but now it's a very real possibility. One of the most dangerous situations was getting tossed back into the base, and that's no longer a problem for a minute.
Taiga's been so crucial in these fights, too. You cannot lose him, but they do have a Zeus. This is one of the best heroes at holding high ground, especially with that Aghanim Scepter. That's going to make it very difficult.
They can deal with the Tempest double. Normally the bubble protects you really well, but Mickey is so statted up right now. He can play frontline pretty well, and then the Zeus pumps out so much damage through the bubble that there's just not a whole lot of reliable chip damage here for Nigma. So yeah, even with the tiny down, they're going to have to back up, just control bounty runes, which is still really good.
Yeah, they should get all of them with that. So it is something. It's 2,000 gold at this point to get all the bounties. It's actually kind of insane.
Got some tier 3 items still out there, it seems, that we've been fighting so much. Nobody's been able to hit neutral creeps around that 27-minute mark, so you can see the lack of vision here for Liquid. Map very, very closed off with only that tier 2 still live at bottom.
Yeah, Nigma just gonna probably move their way into that triangle and stay there. They're converging there as a team. GH is just getting those top bounties because they're there. They don't want to get those sniped. They'll just TP bot to that outpost.
Tempest double and a Mind Control. Oh, that's pretty nice. Mind Control with his build and how tanky he gets, and then the fact that you have a backliner with Mjolnir putting the active on you. There's a lot of things, a lot of small bits of damage, right? Sunray, Ion Shell, Avalanche.
Yeah. Bloodseeker surprisingly tanky as a hero, as an offlaner. He's got some girthy talents, some armor talent, some HP talent. Nobody cared about it when he was a core. Now that he's an offlaner,
something about these agility heroes that get stat items and like that gives them HP or strength.
It's nasty
because they naturally get so much armor.
Right. It's really crazy when agility heroes are good offlaners. It's the same thing with Nature's Prophet. He's actually the highest agi gain non-agi hero in the game. This is the reason why Nature's Prophet has no tank items and he feels like an immortal god when you try to go on him.
Yeah.
He builds pipe and Vlads and all this shit in the offlane.
Yeah, he gets a BKB and just TPs into the middle of a fight, pops BKB and starts right-clicking people. You're like, wait, what?
If you're an agi hero, you really just have to protect against magic damage because your entire existence will deal with the physical damage.
Really nice combo of wards here from Nigma. They see this farming that's currently going on. Unfortunately, the smoke is going to arrive a little bit too late to punish them, or maybe it won't. GH is going to be able to lead off. Telekinesis, Weehawk follows up, cleans out the creep wave, and they get the rupture onto Mickey here. The Lotus Orb bounced it back onto Mind Control. Mind Control, he's going to die to the Blade Mail almost. Woo! He actually heals up a decent amount, but you see that Blade Mail actually causing him some real problems there.
The counter. That's the counter. We were talking about the magic damage. We were talking about the physical damage, but what about pure?
Yeah. Man, that was funny. He like moved a little bit for the rupture, and then all of a sudden he just kept bleeding out.
Dude, one time I was Weaver. There's a Bloodseeker.
Yeah.
And
you got the 25 talent and blade mailed him?
No, I blade mailed. He ruptured me. I Sakuchi'd as far as I could, and then I pressed R, and he died instantly. He took like 2,000 pure damage. He was probably so confused.
That's pretty good.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen in this game because the Bloodseeker's an offlaner, so he's got Greaves.
And by hit R, you mean you were still in range of the like 1,300. Correct. So you did a bunch of Shukuchi running damage and then zipped it all back. Mickey pops the ultimate here. They see the opportunity with GH gone. They say, this is a great time to be able to jump them. And look at that. They've taken 2 supports and the offlaner down, and they're still looking for more. Taiga throws out an avalanche, just kind of hunting right now. Does manage to get the courier there from RMN with the tree.
Man, if only they knew Miracle was right there around the corner.
Yeah, he was close. Liquid might just be able to get their second tower of the game with these people dead. Oh, weehaw! Okay, this Lightning Bolt stuns for a decent amount of time with that level 20 talent. He's held in there for a moment, but he had double Astral Step, so he's good to get out. Deal with the Tempest double here as you can. But it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get that mid tower. Mickey takes a decent amount of damage, and all the supports are coming up soon. Unless they can catch Miracle, they do. Avalanche sauce up in the air. Miracle goes down to half health, pops his BKB, turns and heals. And something that Liquid are just happy to be able to force those charges out where they can. A 5,000 net worth lead for Nigma, but it feels like their team fight is not secure, Jenkins.
I love how Liquid is forcing the BKB. You can see that they're making a conscious effort to go in, but not hyper commit. And they can do that because they have the Darkseer. They have this hero that can just surge Taiga right out, and then the other heroes are just, you know, they're long range, right? So they're not committing in general. Yeah. This is exactly how they have to play this. I think you could very easily have had this game just be lost immediately there with the BKB coming out and then everybody coming back alive on Nigma.
Taiga with the spider legs gets himself up here on the high ground. He has a lot of vision of Nigma here. I think they also know the BKB is still on cooldown for a little bit. There goes Taiga, makes his initiation, pulling back in. They do have to actually stone wall there for Mickey. That actually cost him a lot, and he actually goes down. He doesn't have buyback either with Boxy taking so much damage as well. They get a secondary core. This could easily be Nigma pushing high ground and taking at least the lane of barracks. Boxy, eventually that rupture does wear out and they back away. But Miracle, it's time to lay some damage out of these tier 3s. See how quickly they can take this lane of barracks. The backdoor protection will save them a moment or two, but the creep wave's coming.
Once again, there's this question that, you know, anytime there's a Zeus, it's like, can you go high ground? Even with the Spectre dead, like, you almost have to kill the Zeus. I mean, it looks like they're going to get the tier 3 at least.
Yeah, they're pushing back a lot of these. Like, it's not easy to get close to this. As you can see, Boxy's just going to tank out some of the Spark Race to open it up for Taiga and for Koifa to be able to get close. They're going to pull back in, see if they can finish off this Tempest double, and they do.
The double siege creep definitely helps out there. I think if that wasn't a double siege timing, you might see something totally different with the backdoor kick in.
They're going to pop the glyph, but they still have 20 seconds on the Spectre. I think Nigma, at this point, you commit, or maybe even better, if you could see the opportunity to initiate. But no, just a full lane of barracks. going to be very happy with that. They're going to back away before Liquid can catch them at all. Very nice.
Clean, man. I mean, this all just goes back to the stolen wall. The way that he used the vector targeting to put it in the direct path that Spectre would need to go to get back to her team.
They tried to catch Weehan. It looks like you managed to get him with the toss Nimbus, and then the lightning bolt comes in from Koifa and produces a corpse. Weeha does have buyback here. Liquid, surge up on Taiga. They immediately pop the ultimate. They're trying to get on top of Miracle. Miracle pops BKB to defend himself, and Liquid do disengage, especially with Mickey on top of that wall of replica again. He has to back out, play underneath the supernova, deal with the tombstone, deal with the mess that is coming out here from Nigma. Weeha did not panic. He did not buy back here. They have the repair kit as well, but Taiga does go in. Hence the avalanche combination. They finish off the courier there of RMN, but they don't get a hero.
I don't think I've ever seen a tier 1 repair kitted. Usually they're all gone by the time you get a repair kit.
And this is a serious problem. I don't think Liquid can take this out at all.
This is what you usually see on the high ground, is the repair kit and then the Arc Warden bubbles. This is going to make the next Roche so difficult to fight for Liquid.
Yeah.
They have no outer towers whatsoever. Enigma still has their tier 1. 38 minutes.
Yeah. If Nigma has the mid-tier 1 tower and they have the outpost, they have full Roshan control. Any fight that happens around there, they can buy back and TP, and basically they have 10 members to be able to bring to a Roshan fight. Well, Liquid, much harder to be able to do something like that when you have no towers whatsoever.
I mean, with the outpost, you have to be so worried about the possible wraparound, or if you go take it, what if the Roche is happening and then there's an engagement, you jump on the person that's taking the outpost. So many questions if you're Liquid.
Yeah, and as a result, they just have to give it up. At least the Aegis, I feel like Liquid, with their high ground defense, Aegis is not the biggest deal.
True, yeah, for sure.
As Miracle, like, he very much depends on his BKB, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I also think that probably we can die before he gets the cheese off as well. We've seen him get just instantly bursted by the Zeus Tiny combination.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's not the absolute worst, but we're looking for glimmers of hope in what appears to be a very bleak game right now, basically.
Yeah, certainly. How's our Spectre's farm doing? Is he closing in on 80 items? Anything that will change the game? They got Scotty, MKB, and have to hold on to the rest for that buyback, presumably. Mind Control leading the charge here. He's proven that he's more than tanky enough with 3,200 HP.
Oh my god, he's got the Witless Shaco now too.
Yeah, that is unfair. That is just wrong.
That is mean. Just relax, dude.
And Mickey. Oh, there's so much stuff. The Spark Racer everywhere. Miracle's Tempest double is very quickly doing so much damage. Looks like they tried to wrap into the side, but Weeha spotted them, and he put an end to all of that. Boxy goes down, and Taiga at half health has to use the Spider Legs to retreat. A 4 versus 5 now. Nigma continuing to keep their foot on the throat of Liquid. Pushing this high ground, chipping away at this tier 3. Another 400 health for the Bloodseeker, by the way, so he's down at 3,600. Jump in from Insania. Taiga's going to follow that up. They try and blow up Weeha real quickly. In and out. Disengage. Insania going in with the sun right here. You'll scepter it up in the air. Nip is trying to stop him. Thinks he is going to be silenced up, and he will not be able to get off the egg. Mickey has committed himself in here, trying to go for Mind Control, but again, Mind Control super tanky. Back up at the high ground he goes, using the dagger, but he's still going to be hit by that Blood Rise. Still taking a lot of damage now. They've lost the Zeus. That's going to be another buyback. In fact, Mickey may still die. The Spark Race a little bit shallow there, are unable to catch him, but still. Nigma, they lost very little in that team fight. We still have that Aegis. They still have that cheese, I think. Wait, that's a dieback.
Why was he there?
He was so far forward. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, man. I mean, it's probably over either way, but it's really over without the Zeus. There's no way you can hold this. This is Megas. They might even just go straight throne.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing here.
Middle tower is under attack.
Just
playing around the bubble, laying into these tier 4s. There's so much sustain. Taiga's going to make his initiation. No, and he just goes in, almost immediately takes so much. Supernova goes down, dealing down with the vacuum backing is not enough of disable. The Supernova egg does explode. Nigma and all of the Miracle Illusions that are everywhere here are dealing damage out to Mickey, and Mickey has gotten a couple of kills, but again, Nigma had all those buybacks to work with, and Liquid just does not have as many. They're going to buy back now on the Spectre and Taiga. See if they can go back in one more time, deal with Miracle. circle and that Aegis, but it's going to cost Taiga potentially his dieback here as he's pulled back into the Aether. Remnant quickly Lotus Orbs up. That's going to be able to bail him out, and back on the fountain he goes, continuing this fight. 3 versus 5, and Mickey, oh, what a vacuum, trying to save Mickey, no! He gets popped there by the Fade Bolt of GH, and that is just it. They've lost their carry, and Liquid will lose the first game of this best of 3.
At the moment the Spectre dies, they just immediately call GG despite having a couple of heroes that could be alive there.